Okay, the title of this video will be, is the microchip part of a technocracy? Is the microchip part of a technocracy? Because that's the kind of government that we're in right now. And we're going to look up the word technocracy, and then we're going to answer that question according to the information given to us by Google. Let me start by saying all praises and glories due to Yahweh Shemi Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the brothers and sisters of the household of faith. So let's get right into it. Is the microchip part of a technocracy? So the first thing I should do is go into the word technocracy. Now, we had did, beginning fellow pastor on down, we had did videos telling you, brothers and you sisters of the household of faith, that there are certain terms you should be familiar with, certain New World Order terms. Like technocracy is an example. New World Order is also an example. Get the definition of that. The definition of enemy combatant. The definition of auto-ab KO. The definition of problem, reaction, solution, etc., etc. There's certain terms. The scriptures say, "Be not ignorant of any matter, small or great," and this is a great matter. So there's certain terms you should be familiar with. You should be able to define like that. Okay. And technocracy is one of them, because that's the kind of government that we're in right now. We're in something called a technocracy. All right. So the definition for technocracy is the government or control of society. And government. The word government, and it was Pastor went into that word. It literally means control the mind. When you break down the word government, when you go back to the etymology of the word, it literally means control the mind. So now, can the mind be controlled by an RFID chip? The answer is yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, when Aaron Russo, former movie producer who passed away allegedly from cancer, right? He produced the movie Trading Places. When he was being interviewed by Alex Jones, and he was telling Alex Jones about his friend Nick Rockefeller, he told Alex Jones all the dynamics of what the top banking families want, Nick Rockefeller being one of the members. What they want is to have everyone chipped. This is what Aaron Russo said to Alex Jones. And then he told Alex Jones, when I say chipped, I'm talking about an RFID chip placed inside the body, an electronic chip. So when he told Alex Jones all the dynamics of that electronic chip, you know, what's going to be contained on it, you know, the information contained within that chip, and how if you piss off the bankers, they can just turn off your chip, so you'll be an invalid in society. Alex Jones went total control. That was Alex Jones' response to being told what the chip entails: total control. So that's what the top banking families want. They want total control. That's why when you go to the prophecy in Revelation 13:16, the prophecy explicitly says, right? Let me read it to you. It says, "And he causeth all." Who's the he? The top banking families. That's what they want. That is part of their New World Order agenda. They want a New World Order, and that's part of the New World Order's agenda, to have everyone chipped. And notice I said the world, New World Order. It's not just America, it's the world. It's a New World Order that the top banking families that control the world, the Rothschilds being the top, that's what they want. Okay, so when it says he, it's talking about the top banking families, beginning with the Rothschild family / the Oppenheimer family, because the Rothschild family, they got their business from the Oppenheimer family. They got their start in banking business from the Oppenheimer family. So you could say the Rothschild / Oppenheimer family, or the Oppenheimer family / Rothschild. Okay, and the name Rothschild was just a name that Mayim Shelbauer took on, okay, to advertise his banking business. He put up a red shield over his door, and after a while, the family became known as the Rothschilds. Which Rothschild in German is Rothschild, which literally means red shield, because that's the logo that Mayim Shelbauer put over his door. I believe the address was 148 Judengasse Street. Now, I'm getting this information from the book Secrets of the Federal Reserve by Eustace Mullins. The address, I believe, was 148 Judengasse Street in Frankfurt, Germany. All right, Mayim Shel Bauer started a banking business and put a red sign over the door to advertise the business. So after a while, he became known as the Red Sign or the Red Shield. That's where you get the term Rothschild from, or Rothschild, which literally means red child. Now it's to show you it's spiritual and to show you it's Norman Omen, which Norman Omen is Latin for name prediction. Esau came out red, according to Genesis, the 25th chapter, the 25th verse. Now, in a document called The Master Plan of the Illuminated Rothschilds, it's an interview between Ron Patton and Marion Knox. Within the interview, he brought out Marion Knox, who was speaking to Ron Patton. And if you want to find out who Marion Knox is, just Google him and then Google Ron Patton, right? Marion Knox told Ron Patton that the Rothschilds know that their lineage goes all the way back to Esau. You know, they're claiming to be of the house of Esau, which makes sense because Esau, the Bible tells us Esau came out red. Genesis 25:25, right? So it's no coincidence that Maya M. Shel Bauer, which the word Bauer means peasant, right? Maya M. Shel Bauer put a red sign over his door, or a red shield, and became known as the Rothschilds, or Red Shield. And a shield, another term for a child, is a shield, because a child is a shield, especially a son, is a shield to its family. The sons are shields to the father, okay? So Red Shield. So it all makes sense. It all lines up. So beginning with the Rothschild family, right? I had to go into the history so you can get the whole picture. Now you understand which the Rothschild family is trying to bring a new world order, right? They're the main ones behind it. So what do they want as a form of total control? Let's read it. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor. That's damn near everybody, except, of course, them. You know, the top banking families. They're not going to have no chip, okay? That's for their slaves to have. All right. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that mark is the RFID chip. Now, there are certain Israelite groups that hotly debate that, primarily because two reasons. Either they sold out, so they can't disclose all the information, or they're just dullards. The Holy Spirit ain't dealing with them. Okay, it's either or. Moving on, it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. So you wouldn't be able to engage in commerce without that mark. That's where everything is going. That's part of the technocracy. That's part of the technocracy right there. That you won't be able to buy or sell save he that had the mark. That's the chip, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, which the chip embodies that. The microchip embodies that, the RFID chip. Okay? So now, that's all part, like I said, it's all part of the technocracy. So now let's get into the word technocracy. Okay? Then we're going to answer the question, is the microchip part of the technocracy? So this is the definition of technocracy. Once again.
Technocracy.
Well, let me give this some volume.
Technocracy.
It says the government or control of society or industry by an elite or technical experts. And that's what we have now. Everything is going digital now. All right. Cash is damn near done away with. You have something called a digital ID. That's another term that you brothers and sisters of the household of faith should be familiar with. Digital ID. What's a digital ID? Okay. These are the terms we should be well familiar with in this society that we're living in. All right. Which is a technocracy. So what's a technocracy? The government or control of society or industry by an elite of technical experts. Okay. An instance of application of technocracy. Okay. So that pretty much answers it, what a technocracy is. I mean, we could go, as a matter of fact, you know what? Let's scroll down. Here, people also ask, what is an example of a technocracy? Okay, so Let's read that, see what we discover. This is from AI Overview. Technocracy examples include Singapore and China, known for governments with high percentages of technically skilled leaders, engineers, scientists, managing complex systems, and historical examples like the early Soviet Union's focus on expert-led industrialization, plus temporary Greek and Italian expert governments during crises, showing technocrats stepping in for complex problem solving. The core idea is ruled by technical experts rather than politicians, often seen in specific ministries or during emergencies. So, well, I mean, well, let's read some more. Because it's just slightly vague, that definition. But let's read some more, see what we discover. It says modern or state examples. Okay, so here's some examples of what a technocracy is, right? Singapore, widely cited for its efficient systems focused governance, with many leaders trained in STM fields, so we'd have to look that up, leading to strong economic performance, okay, as STEM fields. China has a significant number of leaders with engineering backgrounds in its state council, applying technical expertise to governance. Technical expertise, that you bring in the digital computer, all right, you bring in the digital systems, you bring in the AI. AI is part of it. AI is part of it, the technocracy, okay? Pretty much a digital system. Everything having to do with the computer, everything having to do with the internet. The internet is part of the technocracy. You have something called the Internet of Things, right? Italy, Monti Drahi cabinets, technocratic governments formed by non-elected experts, economists, bankers, to manage financial crises, stepping down after stabilization. All right, Greek, similar crisis response government led by economist Lucas Papademos to stabilize the economy. So they're giving you some examples. All right. But to me, the examples are slightly vague. What we're looking for is explanations having to do with the computer, having to do with the internet, all right, and ultimately having to do with the microchip, which is definitely part of the technocracy, as you're about to see. So there you have it. All right, some examples, even though they were slightly vague, some examples of what a technocracy is. Do any countries have a technocracy? Term technocratic. The term technocratic has been applied to governments where a cabinet of a cabinet of elected professional politicians is led by an unelected prime minister. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now let's get into the definition, or rather the question, not definition. The question is the microchip part of the technocracy? AI overview, the microchip is not inherently part of a technocracy as a form of government, but it is, see, once again, they're dancing around the idea, right? They're dancing around the answer. But it is a central element in conspiracy theories, which is actually a conspiracy fact, and some critical analysis that link technology, surveillance, and social control with the idea of a future technocratic society. In reality, the role of microchips, integrated circuits are foundational to modern technology and are used in virtually all electronic devices, and they want to turn you into an electronic device. All right, this is the merging of man and machine, right? From smartphones and computers to medical pacemakers and automotive systems. They are crucial for economic development and national security, leading to government investments like the US chips and the science art, the development and use of microchip technology in a society governed by elected officials or market dynamics does not by definition constitute a technocracy. So they say. In conspiracy theories and critical analysis, the term technocracy refers to an hypothetical form of governance where decision makers are technical experts, scientists, engineers, right? Who are proficient in what the internet, computer, stuff like that. The AI, okay, who base their policies on data and specialized knowledge rather than political opinions or public participation. In this context, microchips become a significant symbolic and practical concern within specific belief systems. Surveillance and control. That's one of the reasons why they want the microchip for total control, total surveillance. Right. Remember, when you look at the symbol of the all seeing eye, that's about total surveillance, total control. Big brother's watching you type nonsense. So it's the microchip is definitely part of the technocracy, right? It says anti-government and privacy advocate groups express fears that technologies like the RFID or the NFC microchips, especially if implanted in humans, could be used by an evil government. Well, that's what it's all about. Revelation 13:16. Or a one world government to track and control people. That's exactly, well, again, that's what Alex Jones said when he heard the dynamics of the chip from Aaron Russo. He said total control. Because if you piss the bankers off, they can turn off your chip. What is that? That's control. Mark of the beast, some interpretations within the Christian right link microchip implantation fears to the biblical mark of the beast and the New World Order conspiracy theory. They're still saying that the New World Order is a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. All right. And more information is coming out of it to show that it's indeed a fact and not just a conspiracy. A technocratic elite critical analysis suggests that technocratic elite uses media to normalize the use of advanced digital tools like implantable chips to manage a data-driven world and cultivate public acceptance of a new socio-economic order that threatens human agency. AI and data, the current push for AI and quantum, so AI is part of this technocracy, like I said earlier. The current push for AI and quantum computing, which relies on advanced microchips, oh, look at that, is seen by some as driving the world closer to a fully dated, or fully data, not dated, a fully data managed society, which can be interpreted as a form of artificial technocracy. There you go. So we got a mouthful, all right? The microchip is definitely a part of this technocracy, okay, which is what this New World Order is. This New World Order is a technocracy, simply put. All right, so on that note, I'll leave it there. Hopefully you found this one edifying. See you in the next.